WRKS Pickens Jackson, where it's time for the guy who always gets you to the ball game on time.
And here's the pitch.
It's Matt Wyatt with all the good stuff you need to know. Right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Hey! All right, let's go. Hour number one today on this Thursday. Off and running with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau insurance agents. I got to clear my throat. I'm going to get some help with some hot coffee. Hang on. All right, that's better. That's better. A little hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Welcome in on this Thursday. Now, listen, whatever you want to get into is cool with me. I told you at the beginning of the week, this is the longest 2 weeks of the year. When you get into the last couple of weeks before you actually start having football games to look at, especially in this day and age when the games are about the only thing worth paying attention to. Let's be honest. But, yeah, these last 2 weeks, man, leading up to the start of all of it, they drag on. It always has felt that way because you're anticipating seeing the game so much. The closer you get, it's like the farther away they get. So here we are on this Thursday, and whatever you want to get into is cool with me. I'm open to whatever. Now, you do, again, once again, kind of an off-season day, but you do have headlines in the sports world. We can get into those shortly. But mostly I just want to talk with y'all, see what's going on with you. You can let me know in several ways. You can comment on the live stream if you're on YouTube or Facebook or X, formerly Twitter. Just type it in, post it. It pops up in that column over there on one of the many computer screens here in the studio, and then I can click it and put it up on the screen, and everybody on the live stream can see it. We can all chat it up that way. You can also text the show on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. Country Pleasing sausage. The best. Right on Highway 49 in Florence, a bunch of people who are going to travel to the season opening game on the 30th. Whether it's that morning, and I'm not sure, it depends on how early you're trying to get there. But if it's the day before on that Friday, there's a bunch of folks that'll be going to Hattiesburg for that Mississippi State Southern Miss season opener. They'll travel on Highway 49 and go right by Country Meat Packers. I'm telling you, if that's you and you haven't ever been in there, you really ought to make time to do it. You'll kind of be blown away when you go into the new store and the butcher market there. And you'll want to buy stuff. Might take a cooler. Just a suggestion. You can also call me. That way I get to hear your voice. Number to call is 897-1059. 601 number, 897-1059. Just like the radio station, 1059. So, yeah, anything goes today. Get on in here. Also, next week, let me see. Is this right? Hold on a minute. Yeah, not next week's not game week. I still have to look at the calendar every now and then to kind of get it square in my head. But next week, since it's the week before the season, getting closer and closer, have a couple of updates. Something cool we'll bring to the show. Or something cool we'll bring back to the show starting next week. And that'll begin on Monday. Just a little tease there. Nothing major, just something you've seen before. We'll bring it back. But yeah, get on in here today. Anything you want to get into is cool with me. First up, food. I got a text from my man, Beaver, happy Thursday. How's your day going?
Well, Matt Wyatt, I'm a little thrown off right now. Because directly outside the studio window,
Yeah.
I am looking at Jackson State head coach T.C. Taylor being interviewed by WAPT.
Oh, really?
That's a different sort of setting.
Right outside your window, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool. Man, Coach Taylor did a great job last year. Really, the last couple of years. He's done a heck of a job. Yeah, I'm a fan. You know, people forget, too, he was a really good football player, too, back in the day. Anywho, okay, so that's one thing that you're seeing. So you've been thrown for just a little bit of a loop. But I got a text from you earlier, and it said, it's a graphic. It says, you asked for it. And then it's, what is that, Beeve? See if you can explain to me what I'm looking at.
You're looking at a combination, a collab, as they like to say, between Reese's and Oreo. So they're releasing an Oreo with the Reese's peanut butter cup filling in the middle.
Okay.
That's your cream.
Okay.
And they're also releasing a peanut butter cup with the peanut butter in the middle and Oreo pieces inside the cup.
Okay. See, that's what was confusing me. When I looked at the graphic, I wasn't sure what I was looking at. I didn't know that it was a collaboration where both are taking on each other. I was like, wait a minute, is this a Reese's Oreo? Or am I getting an Oreo Reese's? You're telling me I'm getting both.
Both.
Hey, so let me just say, Beef. The one over there it's a Reese's peanut butter cup deal, but it's got bits of Oreo in it. That doesn't appeal to me. But the Oreo with the Reese's peanut butter stuff on the inside, that absolutely interests me. Where do you fall?
I'm kind of the same. Like, I'll try both, but I think the Oreo looks more interesting.
Okay. It looks good, though. But am I right? Haven't they already had a peanut butter Oreo, or did I just dream that up?
Yeah, they have. I think we're just kind of recycling ideas.
Okay.
But, you know, with people's attention span that can only be measured in nanoseconds, I think Reese's and Oreo they're banking on the fact that we've all just forgotten that it's happened before.
Okay. And I'm old enough to have one of those pre-millennial attention spans where I can actually remember they've already done this before. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Beeve, is Coach Taylor still outside the window?
They are just walking away as we speak.
Okay, here, turn the speakers up real quick for him. See if I can get his attention real quick. I'm kind of halfway kidding, but here's the JSU Sonic Boom in honor of Coach Taylor being right outside the window. Hey, Coach! Hey, Coach, it's the boom! Get on in here. All right, I'm coming to your texts and your comments. Hey, wait, time out. You know, and I was talking about that movie Drumline the other day. How come they didn't have the Sonic Boom in that movie portraying one of those schools? All right, there's a little energy for you to start the show. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like they had Bethune-Cookman and one or two others, and why not when they were making that movie? How are you going to do that and not have Jackson State in it? I don't get it. All right, over to the text line, the country-pleasing text line. Johnny Reb got on in here. He said, what was the deal with the Post Malone Oreos? Well, that might be a question for Beaver because I don't know the answer. Beaver, do you know?
I never had them,
okay.
But I understand that some considered them to be the best Oreos we've seen yet. I remember the first time I saw them in the Krogs, they made this special display up by the registers, and I was real thrown off. I was just walking by, and I just saw Post Malone Oreos. I said, that makes no sense. And then in typical fashion, as I do, days passed by, and I got more and more curious. So I eventually, like a week later, decided, well, I'm going to go back and get those. And by then, they were gone. All gone. You couldn't find them. Well, apparently, these Post Malone Oreos were a hot item.
Well, but what flavor were they?
I think there was some kind of like sweet cream in the middle. I think there was like 2 separate flavors in it or something like that. I can't remember the specifics, but now fast forward like a month ago, and then I see Selena Gomez Oreos, and they're cinnamon.
Okay.
And that sounds awful.
Okay, so it's less about some great flavor. It's more about just sticking a celebrity's name on there to sell more. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Johnny Reb, I think that's actually the answer if we get right down to it. Okay, not the politically correct for the media answer. No, the real answer on the deal with the Post Malone Oreos, they weren't that great. It's just they were cookies, they just put his name on it. Will said, happy Thursday, Beeve. Post Malone was salted caramel and shortbread. Said it was definitely a solid Oreo. Hey, Beeve, listen to us. You think there's anyone driving through the state right now or driving through maybe the Metro on 55, and they tuned in, they look down and they see the sports, moniker on the screen in their car. And they're like, it's sports, the sports station. Let's see what they're talking about. Oreos, dadgummit. Dog tired in Florence. Now, he's got us on sports. He texts the show here, country pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. Repeat after me. It's a 601 number, 885-3776. Dog Tired says, where and when is Lee Corso's last game on College Game Day? And says, do you think someone's going to take over the mascot headgear? All right. First question, I don't know when the last game is for Lee Corso on game day. I do think I read somewhere that that's going to end with him. The mascot headgear on the pick, that they're going to stop doing that. That's his thing, and it's going to go out with him. I thought I read that. Feel free to fill me in. I haven't been a College Game Day watcher in many, many years. And so I haven't seen anything other than, the clips that every now and then pop up on the college football feed on X. But I don't think they don't let anybody else do the mascot headgear thing but him. I mean, it's like his deal, I believe. Nick texted the show and said they just would have portrayed Jackson State like they did State in the program. Well, but Nick, see, here's my thing. I guess what I was talking about on that movie Drumline, aren't I correct in that, like, the band that portrayed the school that was in the movie was not actually, because that wasn't a real school, am I right? It was made up. And so the band that performed, as their band in the movie and played the role of that was actually, I think, the Bethune-Cookman band. I think that's what I was told. Yeah, because I think if you look up like the soundtrack of that movie and you get those band performances, like this is from the movie. Then I think what they do is I think they credit whichever real marching band did it. And I was thinking in the case of like this, they said Bethune-Cookman. I believe, anyway. Squirrel said first game is the last game with Corso. One and done. So the first one will be the last one. Come on. Yeah, Sven says the same thing over here on YouTube. He said Corso's last show is going to be week 1, Texas and Ohio State. So get yourself a box of Kleenex if you're sad about that. MSU 1980 on the Country Pleasing text line says, Matt, I went to Country Pleasing store after you started promoting them and was amazed at what all they had. He said, I wish I lived closer to the store so I could go there weekly. My daughter loves the pepper jack and green onion. Says, but the Kroger in Madison doesn't have it very often. Yeah. Right. Some stores have different flavors more. The one that I go to in Tupelo always has jalapeno and cheddar, and I'm fine with that. But yeah, I love the pepper jack and green onion as well. You know, and they have it's just green onion. It's just green onion flavored Country Pleasing sausage without the cheese in there, and it's fantastic also. In my opinion, it's really good outside on the grill. But that's just me. Okay, so this is from Drumline. Hail State fans said Atlanta A&T is fictional. That's what I was thinking. I think, a fictional school, but they had actual bands, playing it. And I thought they credited Bethune-Cookman with theirs. It's pretty doggone good. Delta Tide fan says the Texas-Oklahoma game may be the only game in a whole entire season where I don't pull for an SEC team. Okay. So what? Is it because Delta Tide fan? Is it because those are the two new kids, Texas and Oklahoma? Is it because you don't like them being officially a part of the SEC? Oh, wait. Or did you mean to say Ohio State? Texas and Ohio State in week 1, and you're not going to pull for Texas? Because the text came through as Texas and Oklahoma. Let me know what you said. Thanks, Sven on YouTube says, nice video, Matt. Thanks for uploading. He says, I think Kamario Taylor is going to be our backup QB. The kid from FSU did move the needle for me. You just never know. What Sven's talking about is last night I popped up a video on the YouTube channel, just kind of recording some thoughts after seeing a little bit of practice, and people want to know about quarterbacks. I don't think the quarterback position is really the most important one this year at State. I think in a lot of ball games and on a lot of teams, there's more important stuff going on, but we love to talk about it. And in this case, I mean, it is interesting. But anyway, some quarterback thoughts, because I knew people wanted to know after seeing just a little bit of practice, So you can go watch that if you want to. But to sum it up, Blake Shapen is ahead. He should be. Been in college a long time, and veteran guys, you get to that point, I went through it all those years ago, where you get to that point where it feels everything, just the whole experience is so much different when you're now all of a sudden, you're the head of the class, you're the oldest guy, and you step on the field and you go, man, I'm the oldest guy out here. I've been doing this longer than everybody else, and things just don't surprise you, slip up on you as much. You don't make as many mistakes. And I kind of think that's where Blake is. But then I also had some thoughts about the backups. They're both really talented, and they're competing. I don't know, Sven. I think that, Kamario Taylor is so gifted that, if somebody other than Blake has to play, it's going to be really hard for them not to put him in there. and he's the kind of guy who, if he gets in there and runs a few plays, at least one or two of them is going to make you go, whoa! And then it's really hard to get him off the field when that happens. I think. But the thing about Kromenhoek, the kid that transferred in from Florida State to compete, he's also young, but he has actual game experience at Florida State. And, he was just getting started. Like, he was just a baby out of high school when they ran him out there some for FSU, but he was recruited by everybody. And you can see why. You stand next to him. First of all, he's a bigger kid than anybody realizes. He's absolutely an athlete. I mean, he can move. And, you watch him throw the ball and you go, oh, okay. Yep. All right. I see it. I see why everybody recruited him, because there's no lack of arm talent. But I'm telling you, when Mario Taylor throws the ball, I've never seen a kid, with my own eyes anyway, and I'm sure there have been some, okay? But I haven't been going to practices over the years at the Alabamas and Texases and Oregons or whatever those places are that have had them. But I'm just saying, my own eyes, I've not stood and watched a kid that age that can throw the ball like that. It's every now and then he'll let it rip and you go, good night. This is a different deal right here. So anyway, yeah, quarterback thoughts on that video. It's on the YouTube channel. You can go check that out. If you want to look it up, I'm radio. Well, it's on YouTube. It's Matt Wyatt Media, and that'll be the channel there. You can check that out. All right. More of your texts, more of your comments on the live stream. Phone lines are open to you as well. And we're just getting started on this Thursday. So get on in here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. Back after this. Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. Say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. murraywest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that, what that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country pleasing sausage, these flavors and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast, walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here, leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area. The blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love. I tell people all the time, my business cards have my cell phone number on them for a reason. Insurance doesn't happen from 8 to 5. When you need me, it's going to be after 5. It hardly ever happens where you have a wreck.
And worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go! With the home team, they are your home team. Headlines, here we go.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank right here in Mississippi. So anything mortgage related, buying, refinancings, anywhere here in the metro. Places like Oxford, and Starkville, and Tupelo, and any points in between. That's where you go. Look them up online at mortgagemanms.com. Headline number 1. Officials will be cracking down on college football players who fake injuries. Also, the number of overtime timeouts is going to be reduced, and referees are going to use different language when they announce the results of video reviews. But nobody cares about those last two. Those are just some of the changes for the 2025 season. According to the National Football Foundation, they actually announced it yesterday. We'll get into more on the faking injuries deal, but just know this, they got a plan. They're going to crack down on faking injuries. You better be hurt. Also, according to sources, the NCAA Committee on Infractions, don't laugh. Stop laughing. It's not funny. It's an actual organization with real employees, okay? They do have a job. The NCAA Committee on Infractions' long-awaited ruling regarding the University of Michigan and the sign stealing and advanced scouting, quote-unquote. That whole case, it's going to be publicly announced tomorrow. The findings on the Michigan scandal are going to be announced tomorrow. Apparently here today on this Thursday is when they made the people who are in that report aware that it's all coming out tomorrow. Is it a big deal? I don't know. The NCAA is going to hold a news conference early tomorrow afternoon, and they're going to put it out there. So there you go. And finally, we go to the NFL. Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders got hurt throwing the football yesterday. All right, it says he injured an oblique. What's that? Ribs? Abs? See, that's the thing. That's one of the reasons I don't want abs, big, strong ab muscles, is because then you hurt them. If you don't have them, you can't hurt it. Injured an oblique yesterday. That's according to the team. He was held out of their joint practice with the Eagles yesterday. He's undergoing further medical testing, and examinations. He is considered day-to-day. He will not practice today, and he is unlikely to play in their preseason game against the Eagles on Saturday. There are no NFL preseason games tonight, and you will have the first preseason games of the weekend tomorrow on Friday. And those are your headlines, brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Tanner texted the show on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, here's a question. What's the best ticket to watch State play football this year, home or away? Now, hey, Tanner, here's what I don't know what you mean by best, okay, because if you're saying cheapest, like as in best deal, that would be one answer. Best seat, best game. I need a little more information. It's hard for me to know what direction you want to go with this. And you say, like, what's the best, all caps, ticket to watch State play football this year, home or away? Just a little more info, and I'll try to answer it for you. I do know that yesterday we had the numbers. Somebody sent them in that average ticket price at State is the least expensive of anybody in the SEC. You know, and LSU was surprisingly low. Like they were in the bottom 3 or 4 in terms of their average ticket price. Georgia was at the top. It was almost $300 average for a ticket. Earlier, Delta Tide fans said that when Texas and Oklahoma play each other, it'll be the only year he's not pulling for an SEC team, so he's not going to pull for either one. But I wondered if he was talking about Texas, Ohio State. But he said it because it's Texas. The reason is because it's Texas. He said, in the last time Alabama played Texas, they beat us by a field goal. He said, I'm still upset about that. Also, he says, I watched the quarterback video you did for Mississippi State this morning. Very well done. I think Mississippi State's going to surprise everybody this year in a good way. Well, you know, I sure hope so. You know, they've got more players, certainly. And, you know, on both lines of scrimmage, offensive and defensive line, they've just got more players, more to work with, more competition, more SEC-type bodies who are recruited to those types of schools. And that's really, really, really going to help. You know, you've got to have it. That's really the name of the game is offensive, defensive line. You know, you can have a great quarterback and these great receivers, and you can have an all-American safety who's going to get drafted in the first round, and none of that stuff matters, frankly, if you're getting whipped play after play on the line of scrimmage. But if you inverse that, you could take really average quarterback play and, you know, a whole bunch of receivers, and none of them going to get drafted. And you know what I'm saying? Like competitive safety or whatever, but nowhere near a first-round draft pick. You can take all those and just be average. But if you are big time on the offensive and defensive line, you'll win. The inverse isn't necessarily true. Lots and lots of examples. I can give you examples of teams I played on. You can be real average at quarterback and win a whole bunch of games if you are winning the line of scrimmage, offensive, defensive lineman, every play. You'll win. But you flip that and go, boy, we got a great quarterback. And, you know, we got an excellent safety and 2 good corners, and we got a receiver or 2 that is a fire breather. That's great and all, but if you have all that and you are average or sub-average on the offensive and defensive lines, going to lose. The games are won and lost on that line of scrimmage. Period. So regarding State, yeah, I mean, the best thing they did is they went out and spent a whole bunch of money on offensive, defensive line, and still probably not exactly where they want to be this time next year. But they sure are a little closer. I do think they will be, you know, especially defensively when they're out there, they are going to be easier to watch, okay, defensively than they were a year ago. Earlier we were talking about quarterbacks at State regarding that video, and Hail State fans said, so no chance of Taylor redshirting? No, I think there absolutely is a chance. I think there is a chance he could redshirt. Sure. I just don't think we know yet. You know, and honestly, some of that may depend on two major factors that are pretty obvious. One is how healthy is Blake Shapen throughout the year, and two, how good does 𝐷𝐵𝐻𝐸𝐬𝐬𝐢 show himself to be, right? He's got a little more experience. 𝐷𝐵𝐻𝐸𝐬𝐬's got game experience. He played in games at Florida State in his first year there, so that's an experience advantage. Big, tall, strong guy, thrower. And so if he really comes on, if you get to that next level of those ifs, and let's say Blake Shapen has to miss some time, if 𝐷𝐵𝐻𝐸𝐬𝐬 can play down the stretch in multiple games, then sure, you could have a situation where Taylor may still redshirt. But yeah, it's totally up in the air. You could also have a situation by the time the first game rolls around that you're looking for ways to get Taylor in the game. He's that good. So I don't know. Prince, my man, Prince Hoops. Prince used to shoot jump shots from three-point range. Last night he sent me a video on Twitter, X, formerly Twitter, of him shooting set shots, old-fashioned set shots from three-point range, and he was knocking the bottom out. I'm talking nothing but net. And he was confident too. But, that just comes with age. You can hit set shots instead of jump shots. Prince says, Matt, what is the best description for a quarterback? Personally, he says, I despise, quote, he can spin it. Rocket arm, cannon, zip. He said, give me the phrases that describe a great QB. All right, that is an excellent question. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you a list of the we'll see if we go beyond 3. Colloquial descriptions that if you're a quarterback, Prince, it's what you want people to say about you. Okay? And I'll have those for you when we come back. See, this nice little convenient commercial break here gives me a chance to write them down. So the things that you want people to say about you if you are a quarterback, coming up, thanks to a question from my man, Prince Hoops, the Prince of Neshoba County. All right, rolling along with you in the Bureau. Staying connected because of C Spire. The #1 network in Mississippi is C Spire, customer inspired. Check them out, cspire.com. Back after this.
I'm 𝐷𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬 with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I am Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both. Break me off a piece of that. Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. It's where it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. Say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend.
We're live at the zone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Somebody here said, why are we not thinking about the future with Camario Taylor? We don't need another Chris Parsons situation. Meaning, what? Talented, highly recruited kid, come in, doesn't get to start or play that much right away, spot play, maybe even redshirt, and then ultimately transfer out. Where is Chris now? Didn't he go to Austin Peay? Is he going to start? As far as we know, and I was thinking, what, Austin Peay, aren't they in Tennessee? He was from Tennessee originally. I think so. He's a really good athlete. I tell you what, though, that year, I felt so bad for Chris. That year, I guess it was the Arnett year, and that A&M game, for example, they just completely threw him out there to the wolves and asking him to do stuff, and that you really couldn't be asking him to do. Anyway, I see what you're saying. And you know what? Okay, and I think it's an unnamed texter. I don't have a name for you, but I think, you have a really good point that in this era where the combination of, a player can go anytime they want to go. They can go anywhere, anytime they want to go. There's nothing to stop it at any point. And on top of that, you're, for all your major recruits and transfers, you're shelling out major money and stuff in their pockets with it. It is a different era. And yeah, I think you do have a point. Like if you start going to practice here, and I know we're, getting pretty close to, 2 weeks out. We're not quite 2 weeks out. We're pretty close to it. But if you start, feeling as though, the development has picked up and in terms of being able to process read after read after read, play after play, and he's doing it well, and he's making less mistakes, and like you get to the point where he's making very few mistakes. And not only, I mean, maybe you can just simplify it this way. You know, when it gets to the point where you feel like that him being on the field gives you a better chance to score and win games, then you just do it. To heck with the idea of redshirting and all that kind of stuff. And it gets to that point. You know, if you're short of that, it might be getting him in there in certain situations, goal line, short yardage, maybe certain packages, giving him a series here and there to bring it all along. But that's what I think. All right. Prince, just for you. He told me stop rambling. He's got to get an answer because he's got to go inside. Here it is, Prince. The 3 descriptions, okay, homespun descriptions that you want people to say about you if you're a quarterback. 1, you want them to say, he's tough as a pine knot. He's as tough as a pine knot. The number 1 requirement, if you want to be a good quarterback, is toughness. That's the number 1 requirement. Tough as a pine. You could say tough as a $2 steak. I've heard that one too, but I don't like that one as much. He's as tough as a pine knot. Number 2, kind of like you, Prince, he's as cool as a cucumber. You ever heard that one? And no, I didn't say cool as the other side of the pillow because that's already taken. That's Stuart Scottsdale, but cool as a cucumber. And then number 3 thing that you want, a phrase you want them to say about your quarterback. Number 3, it's like having a coach on the field. There you go. Tough as a pine knot, cool as a cucumber, and like having a coach on the field. If you can say those 3 things and mean it, then yeah. Then you're onto something. Earlier regarding the best ticket, somebody said, what's the best ticket this year for state? Jared commented on Facebook. He said, it's situational. He said, if we're 4-0 going into the Tennessee game, that'll be an awesome day in Starkville. If you can go to the Swamp, it's electric, top 5 game experience. And then he said the battle for the golden egg is the obvious answer. And the thing about it, you never know about weather, you get around Thanksgiving. But you realize that all these years playing, doing games and stuff, this will be the first time I've ever gone to Gainesville. You realize that? And we're supposedly in the same league with them. Allegedly. Be my first time. I knew you'd say that, Prince. He says, well, then I'm a great QB by your standards. I'm going to add that to my resume. Well, you said you didn't like it when they say he can really spin it. And I think, yeah, Jay, East Webster Jay, I think that's kind of what we're getting at. He said you play the best guy. You try to get him some reps where he can help you in certain situations. As he's the man for the next year, he'll be the man. And then he said you don't have to start him this year, and that's what you hope, right? I mean, I guess that's what you hope, but, you can't count on it. You coach when you're coaching it, I guess, Jay, you're approaching it every day like, I mean, every guy on your roster, every guy in the quarterback room is one bad day away from the other guys from being your starter. A rolled ankle here and a broken pinky finger there, and now this guy's playing. So from a coaching standpoint, that's the way I would be if I were coaching quarterbacks is, okay, yeah, we may have a third and a fourth, and the third gets fewer reps and the fourth ain't getting many. But in the back of my mind, it's not like I'm just not paying them any attention, because whatever reps we do have, we've got to get them ready, because you're bang, bang away from now. He's playing every play. It's just, I think it's the same with everyone, every team. But I agree with you, Jay. I guess that's what I'm getting at, is if you wake up today and you're Coach Levy and you're the offensive staff and you go, look, if you have a situation where you go, we thought it was going to take, a year of development, kind of getting it all pieced together for him to be ready to be the best at getting us in the end zone, but it turns out he's the best we got now at getting us in the end zone. Hey, play him. Play him. But until then, that's it. I mean, you just play the best guy. And, you get, like I said in that video, you get guys who, like 𝐻𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢, who've been around in college programs for 6 years. In some cases, they've been around for more than that. The JUCO guys, anyway. But been around 5 or 6 years. You're older. You go into practices and even in some cases, some scrimmages. And a guy like 𝐻𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬, he'll go 95% of the plays. He's doing the right thing with the ball. Stuff just doesn't fool them. Coverage rotation, different looks, blitz here, blitz there, zone blitz. They've seen it all. They're going to operate things, smoother more often. And that is one major thing you're evaluating is how many plays can I run consecutively without this guy making a mistake? Well, a lot of times with first-year players and even the really talented ones, it's like every other play. You know what I mean? You let's say it's 11-on-11, or let's say it's 7-on-7 Pascal, You have one great play, and the next one, they miss the read, hold the ball, you're sacked. And then you have another great throw, and then you misread, and you throw it to them. And it's like up and down and up and down. And that's really hard to coach around and feel good about. And that's why when you do have, like a situation last year where your veteran guy goes down with an injury, you're forced, you have no choice really but to play a kid straight out of high school at that level. Well, your playbook in terms of what you're willing to go to, that he knows how to read and run, is cut. I mean, it's a fifth of what it normally is. You know what I'm saying? You got 100 pages in it, you're tearing 75 of them out and just go, this is all we can do. Sorry. And little variations of that with different formations. And that's not a comfortable thing as a coach, and that's why it's a lot of times hard for those first-year guys to get out there. But now it is a little different in the modern era. That certainly was blatantly true 25, 30 years ago. Now there's more actual, commonality, if that's a word, continuity between what guys are running in high school versus what they go run in college. There's a lot of times more of a carryover. And then the other thing is, with a talent like Kamario Taylor, the kid is just so uber talented above what most guys that age are coming out of high school, that I think it does give him a chance to get some playing time for sure. All right, hour 1 in the books, hour 2 coming up in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Back after this.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff,
They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there, Murray West. You can find them online, murraywest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I had this opportunity come up to a friend of mine that was an agent here at Farm Bureau that, he said this may be something I like to do because he knew I was involved in the community. And what we do, we're supporting the community. We're doing stuff to protect the members of our community. I've been here almost a decade. And what we do, we help people every day through the products we sell. We make recommendations to them, stuff to protect their assets, protect their lives, their families, and we're local. We're local people. Everybody that works in this office has grown up here, lived here, played ball in this community. I've coached in this community, been on the park boards, the sports league boards, the booster club boards. The community is what's important here in Farm Bureau. We push the local community. We're a Mississippi company. That's a Washington School team ball from 2019. Greg Wallace was the head coach then, and him and I were really good friends. I've been in Greenville my whole entire life. My family's been here. This is home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to support the people of Washington County, protect them. I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County. We are the home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Greg, man, a piece of that.
Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, "Country pleasing, please." They'll know what you're talking about.
And exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-298-2007. That's 800-298-2007. 800-298-2007.
Here's Comedians and Sketchers Getting Comfortable, presented by Hands Free Skechers Slip-Ins.
Hey, I'm Bobby Slayton, and I'm here with my pal, comedian, and Skechers ambassador, Mr. Howie Mandel.
I'm 𝐌𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢 with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I am Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it.
At the Zone 1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau all across the great state of Mississippi. Hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. I'm Matt Beavers here. You're here. We got the whole gang, and you can be a part of the show in lots of different ways. Got the live stream up and going here on YouTube/Facebook/X, formerly Twitter. So if you type a comment in there on social, it pops up here on the screen. I can see it. We'll get to some of that in just a minute. You can also call me. Phone lines are open. That number, 897-1059. Just 1059 like the radio station. 897-1059. Love to hear from you that way. We'll have a guest coming up shortly on the phone line, so looking forward to that. And you can text me on the aforementioned Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. That's a 601 number, 885-3776. So text away, I'll get it here. And we'll see what's up. Now, let's see. Let me go back to a couple of the comments from hour one. One was regarding Chris Parson, who transferred from state, signed with Mike Leach and Company, and then stayed a little while, transferred out. And I knew he had gone to Austin Peay, and I was thinking that's fairly close to home for him. Sven pointing out that you had two quarterbacks that the Leach staff brought in that ultimately transferred out, and they're both going to be starters elsewhere this year. So you have Sawyer Robertson, who's starting at Baylor, and Chris Parson is, according to Sven, going to be the starting quarterback at Austin Peay. And he mentioned that Chris Parson and the Governors, the Austin Peay Governors, go to Athens, Georgia, play those Georgia Bulldogs on September the 6th. So week 2. You got Chris Parson and company going over there to that atmosphere. And good luck. That'll be fun for them. Then, we had some discussion on quarterbacks and who and which and when and what does it take and all that. Jared says on Facebook, he says, I also think Camario is such a unique talent that Levy will alter the offense to fit him and his abilities. Blake can run, but hopefully he doesn't, so that the offense will be designed to get the ball to a playmaker. He said, and Camario will have plays designed with options to where he is the playmaker. And I think that's probably true. Probably true. But that's the thing. I mean, Camario, he absolutely is a plus athlete and can really run and make plays with his legs, but he's so tall and big and rangy, and he throws it so well that he doesn't have to depend on that. He's not like I guess that's another way that, and I almost feel guilty for heaping on the praise because we haven't seen him in a ball game yet at this level, but it's just looking at it. He's not like a lot of freshmen who, the reading and delivering and throwing stuff comes later on down the road. And, you sort of get by with a little here, a little there, and then just being an athlete in the meantime. And that's, you know what I'm saying, Jared? I mean, you could look at Chris Parson as an example of that. When he was first getting into ball games, there was a lot of stuff designed for him to run the ball because he's not quite 6 feet, he's like 5'11", but weighed 220 pounds. He's really thick and hard to tackle, good athlete. So they used his legs a bunch. Man, Camario, as far as arm talent, It's way up there. And really, it's just a matter of, how consistently do you know where to go with the ball very quickly? It's probably another good way to summarize it. How consistently do you know where to go with the ball very quickly? Because, again, it's one thing to know where to go with the ball. If you can't do it quickly, you can't play. It's one thing to make quick decisions, but if you don't know where to go with the ball, you can't play. I mean, it's all got to come together, And that would be the only questions with a guy like that. Because physically, he is imposing. I mean, he is. Hey, I'm going to tell you somebody else who that description applies to. Used to play offensive line for those Golden Eagles at Southern Miss. Number 79 in your program, number 1 in your heart, all 6'6" of him, 320 pounds. Back then, I don't know, well, I'm not saying he got on the scale today, but I'm saying that was the playing weight at Southern Miss. His name is Drake Dorbeck, former All-CUSA offensive lineman at Southern Miss, and has now joined the Farm Bureau family. And he's with us right now over here on the phone line. Drake! Welcome to the show, man. How's your Thursday?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing great. So 6'6", 320. We still there?
Yeah, used to be. I was tuning in a little earlier to your show. I had a little too much of those Reese's cups y'all were talking about.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Okay, so what we saw was Reese's and Oreo are doing a collab where we get an Oreo Reese's and a Reese's Oreo. Which one you like best?
Probably going. I'm a big Reese's guy, so throw little Oreos in there. I'll try it. That may be my game, but I'd like to try them both.
Yeah, me too. I'd try them both too. Drake Dorbeck on your radio right now. As I mentioned to you, he was a 3-year starter at Southern Miss on the offensive line, kind of a stalwart there. Back in 19, he was All-Conference USA. We remember you. I remember you, Drake, also high school days at St. Al in Vicksburg. I think I got to watch you play in a state championship game.
Yeah.
Let's real quick before we look at now, reminisce a little bit, looking back at your playing days at Southern Miss. When you look back at it, how do you look at it? Favorably? Good experience? How do you describe it?
Absolutely. I wouldn't trade those 5 years for anything. I had a couple offers out of state, coming out of high school, and went down to a game in Hattiesburg, saw the environment, and fell in love with it. And, it's different than today's world where, guys bounce around a little bit.
Sure.
Stuck it out 5 years down there, and like I said, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Hey, and so the 19 season, was that your last year? Did I get that right?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay. The whole transfer thing, wide open transfer portal stuff, had it really gotten going by then, or was that after you got done?
No, that was a year, maybe 2 years after I was done. You had guys go, transferring, but I had repercussions, had to sit out a year, lost a year eligibility, X, Y, and Z. But it wasn't in full swing like it is today, for sure. We had a couple guys, going back and forth, but
yeah,
a lot different world today.
What do you think the atmosphere will be like at Southern Miss on the 30th when you get Mississippi State and Southern Miss?
So ironically enough, my first year, 2015 season down there, home opener, first home game, first game as a player down there, opened up with Mississippi State, and it was electric. It's good to see all those stadium seats filled. I'm struggling to find tickets for myself for this year's game right now, but it's exciting, to fill that stadium and just the aura around campus. It's exciting.
Yeah. That was your first college game, was the 15 season opener when you guys hosted Southern Miss in Hattiesburg. And, Drake, it was interesting. It's like we kind of wondered at that time, but I still don't think we all knew and realized that we were watching 2 NFL quarterbacks in that ball game,
Yeah, duking it out. Yeah, I didn't think of it like that either. That was crazy.
Mullins has had a heck of a career, and, of course, he's still doing it in Dak. What else I remember about that one, Drake, was we didn't kick off until like 9 p.m. That was probably once in a career, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know. And then they scheduled this one at 11 o'clock kickoff for this year.
Yeah, on the other end of the spectrum.
That night everybody had time to enjoy themselves before the games and get out there and have a good time at the ball game.
Have you been able to kind of, I know you're out in the working world, we're going to talk about that, but have you, at a distance or at a glance, been able to kind of keep up with what Southern Miss looks like? Of course, new coach, Coach Huff from Marshall, a whole bunch of transfers. What do you think about them?
Yeah, so I kind of distanced myself a little bit a couple years ago in our lull, but went down actually in the spring and went down to a practice with a buddy of mine and got to meet Coach Huff and just the excitement he's bringing and the positivity he's bringing. I hope it comes to fruition for us.
Sure, absolutely. Drake Dorbeck on your radio right now. If y'all are listening, Drake played on the offensive line for 5 years at Southern Miss. He was a 3-year starter. He was all conference his senior year. He's from Vicksburg, went to St. Al High School. I watched Drake and St. Al play in the state championship game. I think that was his senior year. And now Drake is a part of the Farm Bureau Insurance family. Y'all hear me talking about Farm Bureau Insurance, local agents throughout the state. Drake, I saw it on social media yesterday. He's now with Farm Bureau Insurance in Hinds County. I got that right, Drake?
Yeah. I'm out of the Clinton office here in Hinds County. So excited to get rolling. Started August 1st, and fresh out of college, I kind of entertained Farm Bureau, and then went a different way, and all roads lead back to Farm Bureau. So here I am.
So here you are, and not far from home either, right? Kind of is home, isn't it?
No. Yeah, kind of is home. I got some ties to Clinton. 30-minute trip down the road. Dad owns a restaurant here, Fox's Pizza. So love Clinton, love the community, and excited to get rolling, learn the ins and outs, and hit the ground running.
Sure. Did you say so? Your dad owns a pizza place?
Yeah, Fox's Pizza.
Fox's Pizza. All right. So if I go there, what do you recommend?
Oh, anything. They got good. If you're not a pizza guy, they got good subs and sandwiches and wings. They got it all.
A little bit of everything. Kind of like Farm Bureau. Home, life, auto, a little bit of everything, right?
That's right.
That's great. Well, and I'm not telling you what to do, Drake, but I remember meeting 2 or 3 years ago one of the Farm Bureau agents up in DeSoto County, and he had a unique slogan because he was a bigger guy, and his slogan, I think, in his advertising was, I'm a big guy, but I'm a flexible agent. And I'm not saying you should copy him, but that's a pretty good slogan for a big man,
Yeah, he may copyright it. I'll have to come up with something unique myself.
That's it. Well, Drake, I do hope you get some tickets to the ball game if you want to go in a few weeks at your alma mater. I mean, for Pete's sake, if y'all are listening, Golden Eagles, hook the man up. And he's at the Farm Bureau Insurance office in Hinds County over there in Clinton. Drake, listen, man, thanks for a little bit of time today. Congrats on joining the Farm Bureau family. Good to hear your voice. And we like to talk line of scrimmage and linemen around here, so I'll be calling you again.
Sounds good, Matt. Anytime. Thank you for having me, and
y'all
come see me here in Clinton.
Will do. All right. Thanks, Drake.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Bye.
He is Drake Dorbeck, former all-conference Golden Eagle offensive lineman. How about that? First game that he was ever a part of as a college player, freshman year, season opener 2015 in Hattiesburg, Southern Miss hosting Mississippi State. State won that one that night. But I tell you what, it was really a close ball game. The final score of that one in 15 was State 34, Southern Miss 16. But it was 14-10 at halftime. And it was close there for a little bit in the third quarter. And then Prescott State stretched it out a couple of scores. I think late third quarter touchdown, and then back to about field goal. So they had a 13-point third quarter, kind of stretched it out right there. But it was a competitive ball game for a while. Yeah, and 2 NFL quarterbacks in that game back then. Dak on the one side and Nick Mullins on the other. Really competitive ball game. Remember Brandon Holloway had that long kick return? Didn't they catch him at like the 1 yard line, I think? Yeah, it's like we thought he was gone. And I've told y'all, some of the other anecdotal things. They kicked that game off back then in 15 at 9 p.m. And here we are this year going to play on that turf at 11. That'd be nice and steamy, won't it? But one thing we will not have to worry about at 11 a.m. in Hattiesburg that we did have to worry about at 9 p.m. back then in Hattiesburg was it was so hot and humid and muggy outside at 9 p.m. And then they had the air conditioner blaring inside the press box, obviously. But you couldn't open the windows because of the whole, you got to have the windows that don't open deal because of the proximity to hurricane winds you've had within a certain amount of time. So they're all sealed shut. So all the windows fogged over. Jim Ellis and I are getting ready to start the broadcast. We can't see a thing. Band's out on the field doing the national anthem. We can't see. I told her, we flagged somebody down and said, hey, I know you got a lot to do, but is there anything we can do because we can't see the game? And they said, oh, yeah, we'll get it. And within like 5 minutes, some guy with a squeegee on the end of, no joke, about a 40-foot pole, the longest squeegee pole I think I've ever seen. And he climbed up in the stands, and he's on like the back row of the stadium there at the rock underneath the press box, reaching up, that thing swaying around, and then splat. He hit our window, and he went to squeegee in the moisture off. We were good to go the rest of the way. Yeah, they had a 9 p.m. kickoff because the game was on, I think, CBS, the CBS College Sports Channel. And they had a boxing match just before it. They were on after boxing. Good to catch up with Drake. As y'all heard, he's brand new with Farm Bureau Insurance. He's now one of your local agents in Hinds County. He's working out of the Clinton office over there. So if you have a need, or if you just want to hang out with a former all-conference Golden Eagle, see what a real deal D1 offensive lineman looks like, go see. Because I promise you, if you've never stood next to 6'6", 300 pounds, it's a different deal. Guys like Drake are the reason that, you can go to a college game at State or Southern Miss or Ole Miss, okay, and you look at it from whatever row in the stadium or even on the TV, you look at it, and the quarterback kind of looks normal, maybe in some cases small, and the receiver or the running back kind of looks small or whatever. Okay, but you stand next to that quarterback in person, he's 6'2", 200 pounds, there's nothing small about him. You stand next to that running back, he's 6 feet, 225 pounds, there's nothing small about him. It's just that next to all those linemen, they look small. 6'6", 300 is a whole different deal. But that's what it takes. That is what it takes. And seriously, if you're listening and you're a Golden Eagle, get that man some tickets. But he says they're going fast. It might be a sellout. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Kroger Chris texted us. He said, what's up, Matt Wyatt? What's up, B? Well, what's up, Chris? Chris, are you from the local Krogs? As B says. Unnamed texter said Fox's Pizza in Clinton is the best. So Drake's dad has Fox's Pizza in Clinton. QB1 agrees. He said Fox's is fire. That means good. That means really good. Grumpy texted and said, Matt, what a family picture. All God's greatness for them. Signed Grumpy, and it's Dak Prescott, his lovely wife, and their 2 little babies. And one of those babies is brand new, right? Like she just gave birth here like recently. Yeah, and that's a beautiful family picture. And I think, easy for me to say, I know, but you take a guy like Dak, He's learning what life really, really is all about. And you can load him up with how many millions you want to load him up on a contract and, be an NFL quarterback and everybody know you. But the real sense of what life really is all about is when those young'uns look up at you and call you daddy. And they say, Daddy, pick me up. And Daddy, let's go outside. And Daddy, let's do this. And I love you, Daddy. Woo, that's what life is really, really all about. So I'm proud for Dak that he's learning that firsthand. Okay, Chris, Byram, you not far? Come see you. Let us know when you get those Oreos and Reese's collaborations, and the local Krogs will be coming to get it. What is it? Beef sent me a picture. Somebody is making a pizza, and they have put pizza rolls, like the little Hot Pocket pizzas. They have put the pizza rolls on the pizza. And then the caption says, "How unhinged do you have to be to send me a recipe for ... a pizza roll pizza?" Again, this is probably more about me than anything else, but I would love to try it. I really would love to try that. Just once. All right. Rolling along with you, hey, and Sven and Rick and Hail State Fan. I'll come to your comments on the live stream. Lance, got your text here on the Country Pleasing text line. So coming to all y'all when we come back. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Back after this.
This is Jake Mangle, former Mississippi State Bulldog. On the field, I've got to be ready for anything. And off the field, I've still got to be ready for anything. That's why I'm excited about Farm Bureau's new auto and life insurance discount. Two things I needed a great price from my friends at Farm Bureau Insurance. Visit favrates.com for great rates on home and auto insurance. Or find a local agent at msfbins.com. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
Score big this year with our friends at Hellas Construction, your partner in building sports facilities from start to finish. Hellas delivers synthetic turf, LED lighting, track facilities, tennis or pickleball courts, and more with expert design and turnkey construction. Serving schools, municipalities, businesses, and private clubs. Hellas also offers post-installation maintenance to keep your fields pristine. Trust Hellas for quality and performance. Online at hellas.com to start your project now.
My name is Connor Griffin. I'm thankful for Mississippi Sports Medicine just for all that they've done for me.
All of the doctors there, they just care about our children, and that's just so important to me as a parent. It's very rewarding to have compassionate people as a part of our family's health journey.
You kind of learn your body at a young age, and if you want to perform at the best, your body has to be at the best as well. At the end of the day, it's my body before a game, so I got to take care of that when I need to.
Mississippi Sports Medicine has 21 subspecialized positions, urgent care, and no referral needed. Learn more today at MississippiSportsMedicine.com.
Football coaches, stop scribbling notes in the press box. IQ Sports brings advanced analytics to high school football live in real time. See what's working, who's performing, and what's your opponent planning to do right in the middle of the game. No more 24-hour waits for film breakdowns. With IQ Sports, you get instant stats, passing charts, and more, all through a user-friendly platform. Contact what many coaches are calling the pro football focus of high school football at 509-592-8710 or visit IQSports.net today.
As late summer rolls into fall, drive into savings at Mac Haik CDGR in Jackson. With over 1,000 pre-owned cars and one of the South's largest inventories, your next ride is just a click or call away. And, as always, we're giving top dollar for trades. Looking for something new? Get the new Ram 1500 with financing as low as 1.9 for 72 easy payments, or 10% off MSRP plus stackable rebates. Think of us as your car dealer monopoly board. So don't pass go, don't collect $200. Stop here at Mac Haik in Jackson for even greater savings.
25 minutes after curfew.
Still no word.
That moment when every parent starts to worry.
And I'm sure she's fine.
It's what inspired us to make C-Spire's nationwide 5G network so fast and reliable, you can always stay connected to the ones you love.
Oh, wait, that's her now.
And sleep easy, even 26 minutes after curfew.
Hey, I'm back.
To sleep even easier, get your choice of free phone plus double data on all prepaid plans. C-Spire. Customer inspired. 5G not available in all areas. See cspire.com for details.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got 𝐁𝐮𝐫𝐽 Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BEAT to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of 𝐁𝐿 Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of 𝐁𝐿 Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BEAT to 42424. That's BEAT to 42424. Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Do you crave your sports?
It's often difficult to satisfy that special hunger.
Not here, because you've got man Wyatt. Oh, I am starving.
Don't worry, he's got a menu full.
On the Zone 105.9 and worldwide
At the Zone 105.9.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go! With the home team. They are your home team in all 82 counties. Hope you enjoy a little chit-chat with former Southern Miss Golden Eagle offensive lineman Drake Dorbeck, newly a part of the Farm Bureau Insurance family. You can find him at the Hinds County office there in Clinton. And, yeah, let him give you a quote. Let him give you a quote. Y'all can go out for pizza and get a quote. Hey, listen to this. Bulldog fans, Mississippi State fans, stop what you're doing and pay attention. Some of y'all have been yelling and screaming and complaining and kicking and squalling, wanting this and wanting it and wanting it. You have been on social media posting and posting and posting and tagging and posting and tagging and tagging. Wanting this. And all the while, you thought nobody was listening or that it wasn't going to happen. And all the while, they were working on it. And I have in my hand the official confirmation. It is on the screen of my handy-dandy iPhone 15 Pro Max from C-Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C-Spire, customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. Just for you, State fans. They're back. It is back. The interlocking MSU helmet logo is back. September the 27th, home game against Tennessee. The Bulldogs are going to wear a commemorative helmet. They're going to commemorate the Snow Bowl victory game, whatever. A white helmet with a maroon face mask and that interlocking MSU on the side of it. They're going to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the iconic Snow Bowl. Interlocking MSU helmets are back. I'm reading this now. For the SEC home opener when the Dogs host Tennessee. Now, in this link I got, because I'm somebody, I don't know like what list I'm on. I don't know what list, if it's Bulldog Club or the M Club or what. I'm just on a list, okay? And I got this email. I can click it if I want to. And there's a video, and I can see the official drop of this helmet. And then I can watch it and feel the hype of the return, it says. Now you got to be in Davis Wade. You don't see these things in person. They still got some tickets out there for this ball game too. The Bulldogs will wear their all-white 2025 core uniform paired with a white helmet featuring the interlocking MSU logo and maroon face mask. All right. I don't get hyped up about this stuff, but I know y'all do. That's fine. That's totally fine. I'm just not a fashion guy. The matchup with Tennessee is also going to serve as a whiteout for the fans. It says fans are encouraged to wear white. Put it on the calendar, September 27th. Tennessee coming into town. State's going to wear all white. Tennessee will be wearing the orange. Tickets. There's a press release about it. Now, okay. All right, here it is. You want an opinion? I don't like it. I mean, hold on. I really like the interlocking MSU logo. It's the one I played in when I was in school there, late 90s. I did graduate from school in May of 2000, so I sort of made it into the new millennium. But I digress. But I don't like them on this white helmet like they did back then, putting that single stripe down the middle. Hate it. Get that stripe off the helmet. It looks better without it. We don't need that. But that is what they wore back then. When Wayne and Dante and Barron and all them guys won that ball game. The Snow Bowl, 25-year anniversary. Are we old yet? Whew. Hey, I got a text here from Bank Walker. Matt, good afternoon. Just a footnote. Drake was the Kent Hull Trophy winner in 2019 and was the first winner of the Kent Hull Offensive Lineman Trophy in the state of Mississippi from Southern Miss. Signed, enjoy the show and cheers. Yeah, how about that? How did I miss that? Well, like he started every game they had for 3 years, basically, on the offensive line. In fact, you know, like if you look him up, you can go back and find his bio from when he was a senior at Southern Miss in 2019. And the picture on there shows him, you know, blocking against Mississippi State there in Davis Wade Stadium. Big old rascal. He was a heck of a player. All Conference USA, won the Kent Hull Trophy in Mississippi. And he was a big reason, literally and figuratively, why St. Al got all the way to the state championship game. I believe that was his senior year. Now, don't quote me on this. Don't. But was it... who'd they play against? Gosh, I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember. I might have been there for that. Seems like I was there in Jackson watching that. You know, and it's like two 1A football teams, and then there's one guy who comes running out who's built like an NFL offensive line. And the boy, he stood out. Great guy. Drake Dorbeck. Natchez Cathedral. That's right. I was there. And you know what I remember about that, Bank Walker, is that here I am watching the 1A title game between Natchez and St. Al, the two schools. They're not too far from each other. And what? Natchez had a bunch of kids on it from Louisiana. Right? Isn't that the truth? That's how they roll. That's okay because they're right there on the river. Res Dog has weighed in on the logos, and he says interlocking logo is the only logo that matters. Well, hey, listen to this, Res Dog. Results, whatever, we'll see. But it will be cool to see that uniform, won't it? Help me out here, those who've got better memories. But in the 25 years since the Snow Bowl, has State since then at any point, did they wear the same uniform? The all white uniform with a white helmet with the white interlocking. I mean, there's always a chance they did the following year in like 01 or 2 or what, but I don't remember. This we can say, I think, definitively. Is that an oxymoron? I can say this definitively, I think. But since, they went away from it, Coach Sherrill was out. They brought in Coach Kroom. They flipped the thing and went to Russell. Whew. And then went to when Coach Kroom came in, they switched the logo on the helmet away from the interlocking to the M-State banner thing on the helmet. Terrible decision. I mean, just bad decision. But again, what does it really matter? It's just a logo. But since that, since the 04 season, this I do know. This will be the first time they've worn the all-white uniform with the white helmet with the interlocking MSU logo. So it's been a long time. Over to the phone, Andre on line 1. Thanks for calling, Andre. What's up?
Man, what's going on, man?
Not much. You tell me.
And we're going to have fun with it since it's college football season.
Yep.
I want you to tell me the greatest team that you have seen in person in college football. Give me one of the greatest teams you ever seen. You can dig this a while. And you want the way it said,
okay.
It might be the NFL team.
Here it is. Number 1, LSU 2019, Joe Burrow. When Burrow had Jefferson and those guys. Okay, so they're up there. They're right up there. And then I'm trying to think, there would have to be one of the Alabama teams, and I'm having a hard time deciding which one it would be. Maybe, I don't know.
Hey, it's tough. I was thinking about one of them Tebow Florida teams.
Yeah, and see,
them teams were stacked.
Yes, they were. And I saw them in person in 09, I think. When Banks returned that ball 100 yards for a touchdown, But yeah, let's see. Bama, somewhere around 10 or 11 would have been a Bama team that would be right up there with them too.
Yeah, you probably talking about that one because I went to that game. That game, the championship game when they played LSU down in the Superdome. That was a boring game.
All defense.
All defense. I wanted to whoop somebody at halftime.
I'm glad you didn't.
Couldn't get across the 50-yard line. I was so mad.
I know it. Andre, the music's playing. We're running out of time. It's always good to hear from you. I really do appreciate it.
I'll catch you at a better time.
Okay. Thanks, Andre. Call me anytime.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. How about that? That's a good question. The best college football team you've ever seen in person. Stick around.
This is Jake Mangum, former Mississippi State
Y'all heard me
Bulldog.
talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. The baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered,
sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff. Make sure you go there. Murray West. You can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I'm 𝐷𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬
Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Greg, may I have a piece of that?
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area. The blues and the food and everything that.
At The Zone 1059 and coming to you worldwide at TheZone1059.com.
Back with you. Andre raised an interesting question. So the best college football team you've ever seen in person. So the in person being the deal, like you were at the game and saw them in person. Okay, and I immediately mentioned, I think it's 2019, Joe Burrow, his second year at LSU, they won the whole thing. So 2019 LSU, he had, of course, him and Jefferson, the receiver, and the whole crew, they win the whole thing. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So they were just, in terms of a football team who was so complete, and a lot of it because of Burrow, right? But they were just so complete all over. And they were in such a groove the whole year. They were just unstoppable. They were just unstoppable. And that particular year, one of the best games I think I ever watched, and it was not in person, it was on TV, it was that year. Remember when Burrow and LSU went to Tuscaloosa and played Tua in Alabama? It was an unbelievable ball game. But that one, and then I thought during the break, okay, so 98 Tennessee, of course, we were playing against them in the SEC title game. They went on and beat Florida State, won the national championship that year with T. Martin, Peerless Price, and that whole group. And of course, yeah, we've seen them in person. We're playing them, but they were a national champion. I would put them up there with the best teams that I ever saw with my own eyes, in the stadium with them. And Saban and Alabama had so many great teams that it's like they all start to mix together. Like who was the quarterback for this one and that one, and like which one, and I'm sure one of theirs would be up there. Joe Mailman texts the show and says, saw Alabama play LSU in 92 in Baton Rouge. Stallings was the coach, undefeated and national champs that year. You know, I was growing up in Alabama. Of course, we watched them, but we didn't go to any of the games that year. My dad took me to an Alabama game. We went to Tuscaloosa in 90, I believe. It was maybe it was 89. I guess I'd have to look it up and see. It was either 89 or 90, somewhere right in there. Alabama was hosting Vanderbilt, and Vandy had a linebacker named Ashley Stanford, who was from our hometown up there in Russellville, Alabama. He had played at Russellville, and my dad knew his family and stuff. And so we went basically to see him play against Alabama. And then we went to one in Birmingham with some friends of mine when I was in high school. That would have been maybe around 93, but I don't remember it exactly. So let's see. Saw that. You saw him in 92 in person. So that 92 Alabama team was something else. And, you know, you go back to that particular Bama team, Joe, they were good. You don't win a national championship unless you're good on both sides. But they were good on offense. But they were just like all-time on defense. The 92 Alabama team was just Bill Oliver in that bunch, Curry and Copeland, those two defensive ends, you know, Langham, the defensive back. Their defense was just all-time smothering. One of the greatest all-time defenses in college football. This is Bill in Madison. Bill says the best college football team I ever saw in person was the 1971 Nebraska Cornhuskers. They played Kansas State in Manhattan. He said, I was in the Army in Fort Riley, which was very close by. He said, of course, the talent this time is much better, but with respect to the relative era, that team was the best I ever saw. And then he said also, the University of Mississippi team, 1959, gave up 21 points the whole season. He said, think about that. How many games did they play? Probably 10 or 11, and gave up 21 points the whole year. Yep, that's pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous. Rick on Facebook says, I have the flying M on my cowbell because that was the logo when I was a freshman. He says, it is the worst logo in State's history. What, the letter M with the jet that was flying around it or whatever that was? They did that whole throwback thing a few years ago. It actually looked pretty neat in throwback form, I thought. You know, whatever. Just a uniform. Let's see. Here's an on this day for you before we run completely out of time today. August the 14th, 1987. Mark McGwire set the record for home runs by a rookie when he hit his 49th home run of the season. McGwire hit his 49th home run of the season, his rookie year. Rookie now, 49th home run, 1987 on August the 14th. What did he end up with? I'd forgotten that. 87, I would have been, 8, 7, 6, 5th. I was in the 5th grade. So no wonder 5th grade Matt was trying to trade baseball cards with everybody and opening packages of baseball cards looking for that Mark McGwire rookie card. That was a big deal back then. And then Canseco and that whole thing. Yep, that was about that time. Birthdays today. Born on August the 14th, 1959, Magic Johnson. Let's see. Hang on. Steve Martin. Man, how old is he? What is he? Hold on a minute. Do the math. Surely he's not. Is he 70? You hear that? That's me typing on my phone. Hang on. Wait, he's 80. Comedian Steve Martin turns 80 years old today. Planes, trains, automobiles, father of the bride, cheaper by the dozen. SNL. Happy 80th birthday to Steve Martin. How old do you feel now? I ain't talking about him. I'm talking about us. And then today is National Creamsicle Day. Do you know what a creamsicle is? August the 14th, National Creamsicle Day, celebrates the creamy citrus dessert on a stick. It says here, during the height of summer, what better way to enjoy refreshment than with a creamsicle? I can think of some others. Creamsicle, the brand name of an ice cream treat. It consists of vanilla ice cream on a popsicle stick with an outer coating of sherbet. While many other flavors now exist, the original flavor was orange. Beeve, how do you feel about a creamsicle?
I don't feel good about it. I also don't feel good about the skipped this day in history yesterday.
Which was National what?
August 13th. Yesterday, this day in history, 1997 was the first ever episode of South Park. What? And August 13th, 1982, Fast Times at Ridgemont High came out.
Oh, man. Well, Beeve, my excuse was we were so in-depth on hard-hitting, important, life-changing subjects yesterday for 2 solid hours. I couldn't get to it.
I understand.
You know what else I missed yesterday was also that it was the anniversary of back in 1990 when the light fixtures and stuff at a Curtis Mayfield concert fell on him and paralyzed him. And for those who don't know who Curtis Mayfield is, he's the one who did Moving On Up. Or Move On Up, not Move In. That would be the Jeffersons. This is Move On Up. Look up, if you don't know who Curtis Mayfield is, look up Curtis Mayfield. He had a song called People Get Ready back in the 60s. You got to hear it. But anyway, I missed that one yesterday. This is Curtis Mayfield, People Get Ready.
People get ready. There's a train a-coming.
You got to hear it. One of the greatest ever that's a little bit unknown now. Anyway, I enjoyed it today, y'all.
To hear the dealers humming.
Sing along.
Don't need no ticket. You just thank the Lord.
It was good to have Drake Dorr back on the show, former Southern Miss offensive lineman, now with Farm Bureau Insurance in Hinds County. Shout out Drake. Shout out Beeve. He ain't big on the dreamsicle. Me neither, for that matter. And shout out y'all. Thanks for all the comments and texts. It's a fun show today. We'll do it again tomorrow. Kind of wrap the week up, getting closer to football. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. See y'all tomorrow.